The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 Episode 7 trailer just dropped. And y'all, it looks like everything we thought we knew about Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad is about to completely flip. The most shocking part, Jeremiah might actually be the one to call it quits. After all the promises, all the love and all the plans for the future, we're finally seeing cracks so deep that I don't even know if their relationship can survive another episode, and honestly, after watching that trailer, I don't think Jeremiah's patience with Belly's confusion is going to last much longer. So let's break this down. Because the trailer for episode 7 has everybody talking. We already knew the tension between Belly and Conrad was building back up, especially after the last episode ended with that closeness nobody expected. The way Belly looked at Conrad, the way Conrad tried to hold back but still couldn't completely hide his feelings, it was the kind of moment that makes everything else feel complicated. And the craziest part is, it's not just complicated for Belly anymore. Jeremiah saw something shift. 2. Even if Belly tries to act normal, we know Jeremiah isn't blind. He's been picking up on the small things, and in episode 7, the trailer is making it pretty clear he's not going to keep pretending like everything's fine. One of the biggest hints we got was Jeremiah's tone when he talks to Belly. He doesn't sound playful, he doesn't sound calm, he sounds serious. And that's not the Jeremiah we're used to. Usually, he's the one who tries to smooth things over, make Belly laugh, or brush off the drama, but now he looks tired. He looks like someone who's been holding back for way too long, waiting for Belly to finally prove that she's choosing him wholeheartedly. And when that doesn't happen, when Conrad's name and face keep slipping into their lives, Jeremiah starts to wonder if he's just the stand-in. That's why the breakup talk doesn't feel out of nowhere, it feels like it's been building all season. Think back to all the little signs, Belly forgetting which pet belonged to who, Jeremiah catching that slip-up, the awkward energy at the bridal shower, the way Conrad can walk into a room and completely shift Belly's mood. Even Belly herself seemed unsure when she admitted she still had feelings for Conrad. If she can't hide that from herself, there's no way Jeremiah won't notice it, too. And the trailer hints that in episode 7, Jeremiah is finally going to say it out loud, the thing he's probably been scared to ask all along. Do you still love Conrad? That line alone is enough to tear everything apart, because once it's asked, there's no taking it back. And honestly, this is why I think Jeremiah breaking up with Belly makes perfect sense. Up until now, the show has painted him as the safe choice, the one who gives Belly stability and love without all the mess. But stability can only last if the feelings are balanced. And the truth is, they're not. Belly's heart has always been caught between both brothers, no matter how much she tries to move forward. Jeremiah knows it, Conrad knows it, and now Belly herself can't deny it anymore. So instead of dragging it out, Jeremiah might be the one to finally pull the plug and say, I can't keep doing this if you're still thinking about him. But the wild part? If Jeremiah does end things, it's not just going to shake Belly's world, it's going to shake Conrad's too. Because for Conrad, hearing Jeremiah walk away means all that weight he's been carrying, the guilt, the stepping back, the sacrificing his own feelings suddenly doesn't matter anymore. And if Jeremiah's out, Conrad might see it as the moment he can't keep quiet any longer. That's where I think episode 7 is really heading. Belly won't just be facing a breakup. She'll be facing the truth about her heart. And it's going to put her in the most impossible position yet. And honestly, that's what makes this trailer so explosive. It's not just teasing drama for the sake of it, it's setting us up for the episode where everything comes to the surface. Belly can't pretend, Jeremiah won't stay quiet, and Conrad might finally step into the fight he's been avoiding. It's the episode where someone's going to get hurt no matter what. And the craziest part is, it might not end with just one broken heart. Now, let's talk about Belly, because at the center of all this chaos, it's really her heart that's pulling the strings. In the trailer, you can literally see the way she looks torn. Like she's trying to hold everything together, but her face tells a different story. She's planning this wedding, saying all the right things to Jeremiah, but deep down, she's distracted. That closeness with Conrad in the last episode didn't just happen, it cracked open feelings she's been trying to bury. And the thing is, Belly's never been good at hiding how she feels. You can see it in the way her voice changes when she talks about Conrad, or the way her mood shifts when he's around. Jeremiah notices, Taylor notices, everybody notices. So even if Belly thinks she can keep moving forward like nothing happened, the truth is written all over her. And here's where things get messy. In episode 6, we saw how simple slip-ups like mixing up Conrad's past with Jeremiah's can trigger huge questions. In episode 7, I think those slip-ups are about to pile up. Belly will probably bring Conrad's name up again while she's with Jeremiah, not even realizing how much it stings. And it's not just about Conrad being her first love, it's about how much space he still takes up in her mind. That's why Jeremiah's reaction in the trailer feels so sharp. He's realizing that he's fighting a battle he can't actually win. How do you compete with someone who's already living rent-free in the person's heart you love? But let's also be real, Belly isn't intentionally trying to hurt Jeremiah. That's what makes it so complicated. She does love him, she does care about the life they're planning, but she's also 20-something, young, and still figuring out who she is. Having two brothers tied to every big memory of her life doesn't make things easier. So when she feels pulled in Conrad's direction, it doesn't cancel out her love for Jeremiah, it just makes her heart completely split. And that's where the audience feels the frustration, because no matter what choice she makes, it's always going to leave someone broken. Now, let's shift to Jeremiah's point of view, because this episode might actually be the first time we really see his breaking point. In past seasons, Jeremiah has always been the sunshine character, the one who brings balance when Conrad pulls away. But episode 7 feels different. His patience is gone, his jealousy is clear, and the trailer shows him taking a stand instead of brushing it off. He's finally going to force Belly to face the question she's been avoiding: are you with me? Or are you still with him? And when that comes out, Belly won't have an easy answer. That's what makes the idea of a breakup so believable. Jeremiah isn't just tired of competing with Conrad, he's tired of pretending like it's not happening. The love triangle has been the heart of this show from the start. And episode 7 feels like the point where Jeremiah refuses to be the quiet second choice anymore. And honestly, I respect that, because even though Jeremiah's jealousy has made him act out before, this time it feels less like insecurity and more like self-respect. Why should he keep giving everything to someone who might still be halfway out the door? Meanwhile, let's not forget about Conrad. Because even though Jeremiah and Belly's relationship is the focus, Conrad's role in this episode is just as important. The trailer doesn't show too much of him, but that's the thing about Conrad. He doesn't have to say much to change the whole energy. All it takes is one look, one word, and Belly's entire world shifts. And honestly, the fact that Jeremiah sees this, the fact that Conrad doesn't even try to compete but still has that effect, is exactly why Jeremiah feels cornered. Conrad doesn't even need to fight for Belly, she's already drawn to him. And this is where Laurel and Taylor could come into play, too. We already saw how Laurel asked Conrad, "When will you be happy?" and how Taylor is always the one Belly confides in. If Belly ends up spilling what happened with Conrad to Taylor in episode 7, then Taylor might push her to stop lying to herself. And if Conrad admits his feelings to Taylor like the trailer teased, then you already know she's going to be the one connecting the dots. That's why this breakup moment doesn't just feel like Jeremiah versus Belly, it feels like the moment where every character is forced to confront what's been obvious to us all season long. Belly is not over Conrad. And honestly, that's the biggest bombshell of the trailer. Because once Jeremiah admits he's done, even if it's temporary, the question shifts. If Belly isn't with Jeremiah, then what happens next? Does she finally let herself admit her feelings for Conrad? Or does she walk away from both brothers completely, realizing she's not ready to be with anyone until she figures herself out? Episode 7 has all the signs of being the turning point. The one where the triangle doesn't just exist in the background, but explodes right in front of everyone. And if Jeremiah does break up with Belly, the fallout isn't just going to affect the couple, it's going to flip the entire story upside down. If there's one thing we've learned about Belly, it's that she can't keep her feelings buried for long, and in episode 7, I think we're finally going to see the weight of those feelings crash down on her, because when Jeremiah confronts her and when that unspoken question, "Do you still love Conrad?" is finally put out into the open, Belly won't be able to dodge it. The truth is, she does still love him, even if she's trying to convince herself otherwise. And once that truth is forced out, it's going to completely change how Jeremiah sees their relationship. The thing about Jeremiah is that he's been fighting this quiet war all season. He's been trying to prove to Belly that he's the one she should be building her future with. He's gone all in planning a wedding, making sacrifices, trying to be her safe place. But at the end of the day, if Belly's heart is still split, then none of that effort can erase the shadow of Conrad. That's why I think Jeremiah's decision to step back or even break up isn't just about being angry. It's about finally acknowledging the reality he's been trying to ignore. And honestly, that might be the most painful part for Belly. Because she'll realize she's losing Jeremiah not because she doesn't love him, but because her love for him isn't enough on its own. Now let's talk about Conrad, because whether he wants to admit it or not, he's part of every choice Belly makes. In the trailer, we don't see much, but I think that's intentional. Conrad has always been the quiet storm, the one holding his feelings back, the one sacrificing for everyone else. But when Jeremiah pulls away, that storm might finally break. Imagine Conrad realizing that the only thing stopping him from being with Belly was Jeremiah standing in the way, and now suddenly Jeremiah is out of the picture. That's a huge shift, and knowing Conrad, he'll probably hesitate because he doesn't want to hurt his brother. But at the same time, how much longer can he pretend like Belly doesn't mean everything to him? This is also where Taylor becomes really important. We've already seen how she pushes Belly to be honest about her feelings, even when Belly doesn't want to admit them. And in episode 7, the trailer hints that Taylor might be the first person Belly confesses her confusion to. That's a big deal because if Taylor knows, then she's not going to let Belly keep lying to Jeremiah, and if Conrad confides in Taylor, too, which is what we all think that trailer scene is hinting at, then Taylor might actually be the one who forces this whole love triangle into the open. She's been watching her best friend struggle, and she knows the only way forward is for Belly to finally stop running from the truth. And here's the thing, if Jeremiah does decide to end it, Belly won't just be dealing with heartbreak. She'll be dealing with guilt. Because the worst part about love triangles isn't just choosing between two people, it's knowing that no matter what choice you make, someone you love gets hurt. Belly might not want to admit it, but she's going to feel responsible for breaking Jeremiah's heart. And that guilt could be the one thing that stops her from fully running back to Conrad. At least right away, because let's be real. How do you jump into your ex's arms when his brother just walked away in pieces? That's why episode 7 might end with more questions than answers. Another angle we can't ignore is Laurel. We saw in the last episode how deeply she cares about Conrad, how she trusts him, and how she sees through him in ways nobody else does. If Laurel notices the shift between Belly and Jeremiah, you already know she's going to step in, and while she might not directly push Belly toward Conrad, her words always carry weight. Remember when she asked Conrad, "When will you be happy?" That wasn't just a throwaway line, that was a reminder that sometimes holding back your feelings doesn't protect people, it just makes everyone more miserable. If Conrad takes that to heart, episode 7 might finally be the moment he stops hiding and starts fighting for what he wants. And honestly, that's what makes this whole thing so explosive. The trailer isn't just showing us a breakup, it's showing us the moment where the triangle finally stops being subtle. Jeremiah is going to demand answers, Belly is going to stumble over the truth, and Conrad is going to be forced to decide if he's ready to step into the mess or stay silent, like he always does. No matter how it plays out, there's no going back after this. Belly won't be able to pretend, Jeremiah won't be able to keep waiting, and Conrad won't be able to stay on the sidelines. The love triangle is about to hit its breaking point, and the fallout is going to shape everything that happens for the rest of the season. That's why fans are freaking out over this trailer, because for the first time, it feels like the story isn't just teasing the tension anymore, it's delivering it. And once Jeremiah makes his move, once he finally says, "I can't do this anymore," the entire game changes. The real question is, what will Belly do when she realizes the choice she's been avoiding has already been made for her? One thing the trailer makes clear is that this love triangle has reached the point of no return. And honestly, the one I feel the most sympathy for right now is Jeremiah. Because say what you want about him being too jealous or too quick to jump to conclusions, he's the only one who's been giving Belly everything without holding back. He's been open, committed, and ready to build a future with her. Meanwhile, Conrad has been hiding his feelings and Belly has been lost in between them. So when Jeremiah finally says enough is enough, you can't even blame him. At some point, loving someone also means respecting yourself, and I think that's what Jeremiah is finally starting to realize in episode 7. But here's the problem, Jeremiah's heartbreak isn't just his own. The second he breaks up with Belly, the ripple effects hit everyone. Belly will feel guilty, Conrad will feel torn between relief and guilt, and even characters like Laurel and Taylor will be pulled into the fallout. Laurel might try to be the voice of reason, reminding Belly that love is messy but honesty is necessary. Taylor, on the other hand, will probably push her harder than ever to stop running from her feelings for Conrad. And then there's Steven, who has always had his own protective streak when it comes to Belly. If he finds out Jeremiah ended things because of Conrad, you already know he's going to have something to say about it. That's what makes this breakup bigger than just Belly and Jerry. It shakes the whole cousin circle. And let's not forget that Conrad is still stuck in the middle. If Jeremiah walks away, Conrad will be left with the hardest decision he's ever faced. On one hand, he'll want to stay loyal to his brother because we know how much guilt Conrad already carries. He's always been the one to sacrifice, to put other people's happiness above his own. But on the other hand, how much longer can he pretend? Laurel's words have been echoing in his mind. Taylor might push him to speak up, and Belly has never been good at hiding how she feels around him. If she's left broken after Jeremiah, Conrad might not be able to hold back any longer. And here's the twist nobody's really talking about yet. What if Jeremiah ending things isn't the end of the wedding, but the beginning of something even more complicated? Because let's be real, Belly is the type to try and hold everything together. Even when it's falling apart, she might try to convince Jeremiah to stay, to fight for what they have. But the problem is, once that doubt is out in the open, it's almost impossible to shove it back in. Jeremiah might hear her out, but deep down, he'll always wonder if she's really with him or if she's just scared of losing him. And that's the kind of insecurity that can kill a relationship slowly. Even if they don't break up immediately, this is why I think episode 7 will be the most intense one of the season so far. Because it's not just about who Belly loves, it's about what happens when honesty finally collides with love. Jeremiah asking the hard questions, Belly fumbling for answers, Conrad watching from the sidelines, torn between his loyalty and his heart. All the tension that's been simmering finally boiling over in one explosive episode. And the truth is, there's no version of this where everyone walks away happy. Someone's heart is getting shattered, and the trailer makes it clear that Jeremiah might be the first. But let's also talk about Belly. Because as much as we focus on Conrad and Jeremiah, she's the one caught in the middle of it all. Belly has been trying to prove to herself that she made the right choice, that picking Jeremiah over Conrad was the step forward she needed. But the trailer shows her unraveling, her face, her words, the way she hesitates, it all screams doubt. And when you're about to marry someone, doubt is the last thing you should be carrying. Belly knows this, and that's why her silence when Jeremiah confronts her is so telling. If she was 100% sure about Jeremiah, if she was really over Conrad, she would have said it instantly. But instead, she pauses, she hesitates. And that one hesitation might be the moment Jeremiah realizes the truth he's been scared of all along. That's why I think this breakup isn't just about Belly and Jeremiah, it's about Belly finally facing herself. For so long, she's tried to choose between the brothers without really asking what she wants. What really makes her happy? Episode 7 might be the first time she admits that she doesn't have all the answers, and as painful as that is, it's also the moment she finally starts being honest, not just with Jeremiah or Conrad, but with herself. And honestly, that's why this episode has so many fans on edge. Because we all know what happens when secrets and honestly, that's why this episode has so many fans on edge. Because we all know what happens when secrets and half-truths finally come out, they leave scars. Jeremiah walking away could scar Belly forever because losing him means losing not just a boyfriend but also her safe space, her comfort, her anchor. And Conrad stepping in won't automatically fix it because their history is so messy and so loaded. That's why episode 7 feels like the real turning point, the episode where love stops being a dream and starts being a battle. At the end of the day, episode 7 isn't just another chapter in the summer I Turned Pretty, it feels like the breaking point we've all been waiting for, because no matter how much Belly has tried to juggle her feelings, no matter how much Jeremiah has tried to hold on, and no matter how much Conrad has tried to step back, the truth is finally catching up to all of them. The trailer makes it crystal clear that everything they've been avoiding is about to explode. And honestly, I think that's why so many fans are both nervous and excited, because we know there's no way out of this episode without someone's world falling apart. For Jeremiah, it's about realizing that love isn't enough if it's not equal. He's been giving Belly his whole heart, but if part of hers is still with Conrad, then it's never going to feel fair for Belly. It's about finally admitting that she can't keep pretending that her heart is too complicated to just choose one path and never look back. And for Conrad, it's about stepping out of the shadows and deciding whether he's ready to fight for what he wants or keep sacrificing his own happiness. All three of them are standing on the edge. And episode 7 is the moment someone takes the fall. And honestly, that's what makes this trailer so heavy. Because the show has teased tension before, but this time, it feels real. Jeremiah's voice when he questions Belly, it doesn't sound like a fight they can just laugh off later. It sounds like the kind of conversation that changes everything. The kind of moment you don't come back from, and once that happens, once those words are out there, the love triangle isn't just an idea anymore, it's a reality that can't be ignored. So what does that mean for the future? If Jeremiah really does walk away, then Belly will have to face herself like never before. Does she finally admit her feelings for Conrad? Or does she realize she's not ready for either of them? And if Conrad sees his brother step back, does he finally confess, or does he hold onto that silence that's been suffocating him all season? No matter what, this episode sets the stage for the rest of the season, and honestly, I think it's going to leave all of us reeling. Because here's the truth, the Cousins Beach we fell in love with, the one full of sweet summer moments and Lighthearted romance is gone. What we're about to see now is the cost of love, the heartbreak, the choices that can't be undone, and once episode 7 airs, nothing will ever be the same for Belly, Conrad, or Jeremiah again. So, what do you think? Will Jeremiah actually go through with breaking up? Or will Belly somehow convince him to stay? And if he does walk away, will that finally open the door for Conrad? Or will Belly be too lost in the guilt to let herself love him? I want to hear your thoughts, your theories, and your predictions, so drop them in the comments below and let's talk about it. And before I wrap this up, I just want to say thank you. Seriously, thank you for all the love and support you've been giving to these videos. Every like, every comment, every subscription, it means the world. If you've been enjoying these breakdowns and you're as obsessed with the summer eye turned pretty as I am, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. And of course, share your thoughts below because this conversation is just getting started. Thanks again for all the support. You guys are the reason I keep making these videos. Until next time, keep watching, keep speculating, and get ready because episode 7 is about to change everything.